This is the real Coach JB. It's a great day to have a great day on the Benched NFL podcast. Peace.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Bench Podcast. My name is Joey, joined as always by my brother, co-host Angel. What's up, man?
What's up? ¿Cómo estás? How are you?
I'm very good, very good. Good old white cap.
Yep.
White cap, white shoes. That's what I think of you.
Yep. This will last about 4 months, and then I throw it away.
Do you wear white shoes every day?
Yes.
That is quite the feat. There's not a chance.
I wear white shoes to work. I wear white shoes when I go out.
You really do.
I wear white Crocs. Everything's white.
That's wild. The other thing I'm in my mind right now is Miller Lite. Is that your beer?
My Miller Lite, Coors Light, those two.
Bud Light
is also a beer. That you are very accurate.
Yeah. Over at the producer's desk today, of course, double barrel action. Packers owner Gabe Tovar and 6'5" AJ Woodson.
Hey, Angel, you just got to throw these things in the washing machine, man. Lasts you more than 4 months.
No way. What's
the hats?
Yeah.
Don't they lose their form?
Not at all. I've washed this one 3 times already now.
Oh, wow.
Looks great.
What is that? You just got that.
Yeah. I wear this thing every day. Oh. My wife says she likes it on me, so I wear it every day.
Okay, yeah.
I have a lot of hats because I don't have a wife. So,
I mean, you do that to yourself. No one put you there. Like,
yeah. That was me.
If you're watching on YouTube, welcome to the channel.
Hi.
If it's your first time here, go ahead and subscribe to the page, like the video, and hang out with us 3 times a week for football content, fantasy content, all things NFL. We talk, me, Angel, and of course the boys of the producer desk. Terrell is not in the house today. Hey, shout out to Terrell, and good luck to the Thorogood family on Family Feud. Yeah, go Thorogoods.
Yeah, I'm just wondering when the Tovars are gonna jump on Family Feud.
That's gotta
We
be
do terribly.
Never. We would not no money.
terrible.
We get in arguments.
Who would be the 2 people that do, like, what's the final game called? Fast Money? Who would be the 2 in our family that would do that?
Oh, it's you and Angel.
Me and Angel?
You and Angel.
I'll do it.
I think you could choose from any one of us, but yeah, I'm fine with you.
I wouldn't want to do it. I would have Joey do it.
The funniest version would be my mom and my sister.
No,
We would for sure lose a 20K.
Panic attack.
Well, that's why I said the funniest version.
Yeah.
We wouldn't win, but
I do Star Trek man.
anyway, shout out to the
Shout out to Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey. Shout out, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
I'm gonna give a shout out now. Back on track. Let's go back on track.
Here we go.
If you're listening on the audio podcast, Spotify. I'm not gonna try to. I can't. I can't remember all of them.
Who's listening on Amazon?
I'm a little rusty right now. I'm a little
It's
rusty.
fine. You're doing good.
If you're listening, thanks, Gabe. If you're listening on the audio version of the Bench Podcast, thanks so much for joining us there. Leave a review, share it with a friend.
5-star,
Those are
what?
good things. And if you joined us for our draft party, thank you so much. We had a great night. What a night. 4.5 hours talking ball.
Just pure football.
You know what?
With a bunch of freaking dudes. I loved it.
I hate when Angel makes that face. I don't know what he's going to say. He could literally say
Could be
anything.
anything coming out right now.
That was pretty tame. I just said I just like that.
Shout out to our guests that night. We had a couple of members of the team. Greg calling from New Zealand.
Yeah.
David Adams calling from a family event. I know he snuck into the backyard. And
his wife just hated him
he
for
literally
it.
talked on the phone till his phone died.
Team player.
And then, of course, shout out to Coach Jason Brown.
Yeah, Coach
Last
JB.
chance you
Yeah.
for jumping on the live stream there.
I'm gonna watch his documentary, Last Chance Truth.
Yeah, go check that out. It's gonna be awesome. I've been doing a little rewatch of Last Chance You. His seasons 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Yeah.
3 and 4.
Real quick, what's crazy about you is that you do all the reels for us. So you edit all the clips. You're watching JB reels. Well, watching Coach JB on the TV. I was like, aren't you? There's a lot of JB.
My wife was so sick of JB because while I'm editing, I'm playing it over and over again. I don't have headphones in because I'm also watching the show, and so a lot of JB.
Coach JB. A lot
of slap dick.
A lot of slap dick. You slapped in mother. All
Yep.
that stuff. Yep.
But thanks to him for jumping on the live stream. That was awesome. That's really our first interview with someone like that. I don't want to leave out Mr. Bears.hub, Danny Pedretti.
Danny boy.
Back in the day, talking a little Bears. But that was awesome.
First high profile.
Yeah, and we did it live, which is just insane.
We're doing it live.
That we even tried that, like live. Not to mention, if you saw what that live stream looked like about 5 minutes before we went on.
Chaotic.
No, we literally said, like, when it was 4:25, it was like, we're nowhere near it.
All of us were panicking, working on
It was
something
wild,
different.
Well, yeah, but
We all got the notification.
It looked
like
great.
10 minutes, bench goes live. We're like, we're not even set.
You know what's funny? Have you watched it? So it's on the YouTube right now. If you haven't seen it, go on the live tab and you can watch the 4.5 hours if anyone has that kind of time.
Hey.
Or watch it in parts. It's kind of fun. But if you've seen it, there's like a 15-second clip where we didn't know the camera was on.
Oh, yeah.
For it to start, and we're just sitting there talking, like, kind of fun. But anyways, that was a good time. 4.5 hours. I'll say this: I was tired. We were all tired. I never really got tired of talking football.
No.
Like, that was just fun.
That flew by.
That was
an awesome draft. Excuse me, sorry, I just burped right into the mic. I'm rusty. I'm rusty, guys.
Yeah.
Let's get back into it. Let's focus here. Of course, if you follow us on any of the social medias, thanks so much for all the action we're getting there, and we're getting a lot of action.
Yeah,
a lot of comments, a lot of snarkiness.
A lot of attitude on there, guys.
I got some comments here that we'll go into.
Ooh,
We'll get to eventually on YouTube. Those are a lot of fun. They didn't listen. JB is so interesting because like our most liked stuff ever, JB.
Yeah.
The most negative comments ever, JB. Like,
Yeah,
he just pisses people
that's
off.
He
called
brings in the people.
That's just a polarizing personality. That's what he is.
That is him for sure.
Also, a fantastic when he talked to us for about 20 minutes, a fantastic football mind.
Yep.
Some things I didn't even think about that in that way.
Well, I think that's what people miss about him. Is like he's so colorful and he's such like a freaking lightning rod of a person that like you miss. Like he shared some stuff the other day, but it's just like I never thought about, when you get a left-handed quarterback, your offense has to be, you have to build a different offense.
When you talked about the way the ball comes out of the hand, the way the receiver has
trail.
to catch the ball, it's much different.
Yeah, that was wild. He talked about some of the moves that possibly could be made. I had some calls about what he said about Caleb Williams, because you don't hear a lot of negative about Caleb Williams as far as like his play, him as a prospect. Everyone kind of worships him as a prospect. JB definitely does not. And also, I get the feeling he's not a big Shedeur Sanders guy either. So you should get the same thing from him next year.
Yeah, I'm very interested because I watched a lot of Shedeur Sanders this year. I liked him, but obviously I'm not Coach JB. But everyone's allowed to their own opinion.
Yeah. By the way, listen, we're gonna have all sorts of guests here, and we don't care if they agree with us or not. We're not all trying to say the same thing, and we're gonna post those opinions and we're gonna have conversations because this is a NFL conversational podcast, just a bunch of dudes talking shit like we have from the bench since we were benched in high school.
Yeah.
That's kind of the theme of the podcast. And so if you're on any of the socials and like you see something that you don't agree with, just know we may not agree with it either. Like a lot of stuff Coach is saying, I was like, I don't really.
Yeah.
And I'm not really there with you.
I didn't press it because we were doing an interview. I'm like, I like Shedeur Sanders a lot.
Yeah, but you were a little scared.
Well, because like we only had
You catch you off guard?
Yeah, he was so against it. I was like, I don't think this is the time to talk Shedeur Sanders. But next year, if we have him on, I cannot have a discussion with him. About it.
When you said that, my eyes got huge. I was like, oh my gosh, he doesn't know.
It's just different opinions, which is a lot of YouTube comments.
He talks a lot of Colorado.
Yeah,
he's not a fan. Anyway, that was a good time. Make sure you go check that out. We'll obviously be pumping out as much of the clips as we can. Of course, 4.5 hours of content, so a lot of clips to have. Don't forget to check out our website, benchshow.com. We got articles going up there, announcements, and different stuff. Just check it out. It's good. Right now is episode 120. On today's show, we're going to get into a little bit of a draft recap. Really haven't had a chance to talk drafts since last Thursday.
We've kind of sat back and like I listened to podcasts and gone to do some my own articles and digested what happened and how it happened and the trades that were in the air.
Have you found yourself like more often changing your mind about things or kind of digging in deeper?
I've found kind of like digging deeper to what I thought, but also like you kind of look back like, wow, this team actually had a better draft, than I thought. Or this team, there's some teams that we'll talk about later that like this team really cleaned up this draft and they're really starting to, there's a couple teams there and a couple clear reaches in this draft.
There's definitely some reaches. There's
reaches,
surprise picks that were just like,
you're like, what?
Insane.
Yeah.
There were some cool interviews after. Did you guys see the Keon Coleman interview?
Yeah.
That guy is going to be a lot of fun.
And then there was the Chris Ballard interview where he just defends his boy, Adam Mitchell.
He's a snippy fella.
Yeah, he's feisty.
Yeah, he's a feisty guy.
Don't fuck with his boys. He will get you.
And then there's Xavier Legette. And if you don't love Xavier Legette after that, I've listened to that thing I don't know how many times. Like his interview. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I got it here on my phone. I'm going to play it for you.
Oh, yeah.
Listen in. This is Xavier Legette at his introductory press conference. Nope, this is an ad.
Knows what
We're gonna get
We don't
blocked for
have-
that one.
Honestly, I was gonna play it.
Did you have to pinch yourself a little bit?
Oh no, man. I woke up ready, man. I got a call right after I got dressed. They was coming to pick me up at 9:30 in the morning. I told them I'm gonna be ready.
Go, Xavier
You woke up a
Leggett.
Carolina Panther this morning. Did you have to pinch
That's
yourself?
he goes on. His second quote is just as funny. It's just
Like King's a comedy.
That
type
guy
stuff.
is as country as you can
Hey,
get.
the
Yeah.
funny thing about that, so I actually like kind of talk like that to my mom, my sister, my wife.
Oh,
My wife didn't know like people actually talk like
Yeah.
that. So she saw that video today and she's like, babe. I was like, I know, man, that's crazy, man.
when he first said it, I literally didn't know what he said.
Yeah.
Like at the end of it, I know he said something about getting picked up, but
Yeah.
that was
Something about 9
That
o'clock.
was awesome. Yeah. And you had the disappointed draftees, right, who were drafted later than they thought they should have.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
whole league's gonna pay.
the whole league's gonna pay crowd. The I'm gonna memorize everyone before me crowd.
It's getting a little old.
Yeah.
That's getting a little tired.
This isn't originally mine, but I shared with you guys before on a podcast I was listening to. Someone's like, "What's the hit rate on?" I'm mad at the league
Not
for
high.
not drafting me high enough.
No, like we said pre-show, the only guy I knew that ever worked was Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, and like
Now he's like the highest paid wideout.
the only other person I've seen like do that and like is Draymond Green. Right? Doesn't he do that?
Yeah.
Other than that, it literally doesn't work.
Yeah, so like, 1 out of 1,000 players.
Guess
actually,
what? You're a third round. By the way, you're a third freaking round.
and be grateful that you get drafted in the NFL. Some people don't get drafted at all.
Yeah, but it was such a fun night, such a good draft, so much fallout. Of course, some of the quarterback picks were just
Questionable.
the shockers of the night, and a couple of kind of under the radar moves that was pretty shocking as well. This segment is brought to you by Dad Gang Hats. Dad Gang makes the highest quality hats in the apparel industry because they use premium materials, pay close attention to detail, and prioritize durability and comfort. With so many styles, colors, and designs, they absolutely have the right hat for you and the dad in your life. Use code BENCHED76826. That's BENCHD 76826 for 15% off your first purchase. Shop Dad Gang Hats, quality hats for quality dads. We might be forced, fellas, next year into having a draft pre-show because the draft is turning into just like everything does. I'm so sorry, guys. That's my phone. Like everything does with the freaking NFL, just a monster event.
Yeah.
The draft numbers were through the roof. I think the NFL put this out. Over 53 million fans watched.
Wow.
775,000 attended. That's a record. I think they beat it by like over 200,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
Detroit really
They
came
showed
through.
out strong there.
Yeah, 5.9 million viewers over 3 days watched the draft. Like those are insane numbers. Round one, the average of 12 million viewers, 34.3 million was the highest since 2021. I mean, just a massive amount of people, any way they could, take it into this draft, go into Detroit or watch it on their with their families or whatever. A lot of people pumped for the draft, and it's turned into like it's easily the biggest sports draft like in America.
Oh, yeah.
Also, this is probably, part of the reason why this happens when you have a heavy quarterback class. Every fan base wants to jump in, but also,
Do you think that's it?
I think that's part of it. And also, it's the NFL is like the king of North American sports right now. It's going to dominate everything. Like literally during the draft, there was playoff basketball. Like I'd rather watch the NFL draft.
I think these city-hosted drafts, I think this is just going to be how it is.
Oh, it works.
Great
It's
idea.
just going to keep building.
Yeah.
I think next year in Green Bay, they're going to want to beat 707. You're going to see 100.
How many people live in Green Bay, Wisconsin?
106,000.
Why do you know that?
Why do you know that?
Because they show that sign every year.
he's an
Because you're an owner. You know your people.
Oh,
I know the team. I don't know. I don't know the city.
He knows the people he represents.
Oh, okay. So they don't have they don't have the capacity to beat Detroit then.
I think they have the hotels to even house all those people. But
Yeah,
Interesting.
That's going to be pretty wild.
we'll see.
I got a question though. How
It's gonna
many
be like Woodstock, just tents all over the place.
how many non-white people live in Green Bay?
Whenever I go, I'm pretty sure I am the Hispanic.
You are
population.
that population.
I am the population.
During the season, at least like 52, right? The Packers, the actual Packers.
Yeah.
And that's Brittany, the gymnast.
Oh, she's in Chicago.
She's Chicago now.
She's an Illinois girl.
Not about that.
Yeah.
Oh, back down to 52.
But down 50. We almost had it. Not close.
Okay, let's get to some news here. This one is just David Tepper is the villain now in the NFL.
Is
like,
he?
Snyder is gone.
Is he a villain or just an idiot?
he's the villain. Like, he is the villain. He's the guy everyone's booing. His own people don't like him. He is the villain of the NFL. And this just further cemented that. Surveillance footage captured the moment Panthers owner David Tepper walked into a Charlotte restaurant after a sign was put up prior to the NFL draft. The sign read, "Let the coach and GM pick." Now, if you don't know what this is about, of course there was reports that David Tepper was making picks for the GM, for the coach, influencing that whole process. That he was the one who chose Bryce Young over CJ Stroud, stuff like that.
Dude's hat off.
And so he walks into this restaurant and addresses them about their. By the way, shout out to that awesome shirt. See that her shirt? It's very nice. Yeah. Obviously, he's very upset. He tried to play it off later when he was asked about it. I wasn't mad.
It was a big goof.
I tell you what.
Shut up.
There's places in America where you will be shot for taking off someone's hat. Like, you don't take off a dude's hat. That
was crazy.
That's like one level. It just screams rich guy, douchebag who's gonna do whatever you want. By the way, I found out later, AJ, that was a guy wearing an Eagles hat.
I thought so. It looked like it.
Yeah. So,
If it means anything at all, he does shake his hand at the end, but
No.
doesn't really mean too much.
He probably caught himself mid.
He probably caught himself,
being like, "This looks pretty. It's gonna look pretty
I
bad."
just got sued. Maybe I don't want to
Man,
know.
this guy like.
This dude reached for the man. Look at that.
So there's no vetting of owners. You just do you have the money to buy this team? Then you're just an owner. Then
I'm sure, like, initially there's some kind of, like, do you have any, like, major, like, if you're like a criminal, but if you're just an a-hole, you're probably fine.
yeah, I think he's more of an idiot than he is a villain. But either way, I'm not gonna back David
Dumb
Tepper.
rich guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that was, I mean, gosh.
this was within 2 hours.
They
of the
had
draft.
a good draft too.
Right.
I just don't trust any of it. That thing, because it's all from a poison tree.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's gonna work there as long as David Tepper's there. I don't care. I don't care who you get to coach. I don't care how good Dave Canales is. I don't care if you could turn around Bryce Young or Xavier Legette is really good. I don't care. Like, as long as this guy is there, they're not gonna do well. It's gonna be a poisonous organization from top to bottom.
Yeah, this just smells like Snyder when he was with Washington. Like, whatever they do, it's gonna suck because the wrong guy's in charge.
Did you guys see that report that someone did? I think it's an ESPN report, and it was basically the process of interviewing for Coach Belichick. Did you guys read that report? No. Okay, so basically, they talked about Belichick interviewing with the Panthers, and I guess he met with the GM and Tepper and felt good about it. Thought he was going to get the job, but Tepper did not want to budge off of, hey, I'm not going to come in with you every week and have like player personnel and coaching decision like meetings with you. Like, Bill Belichick's like, I'm not going to meet with David Tepper for him to analyze my coaching that week. Not going to happen.
This is like
he moved on and they got Dave Canales.
Wow. It's like a poor man's Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is the GM and runs everything. Yeah. But at least like they're actually at least winning games and like relevant. Yeah. Panthers are just gonna stay irrelevant and being bad.
It's just really, really bad.
Shout out to the Panther fans out there.
Let's move on here to Atlanta, who, listen, the vibes were so good before the draft.
Oh yeah.
And the vibes are, I don't want to say they're bad. They're just like
tainted.
Like, what the hell? Like, what's happening?
It's more like confused.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
But maybe a little upset. Kirk Cousins here apparently is not very thrilled with the Michael Penix selection. Go figure. He probably had a little call with Aaron Rodgers here and like, hey, how'd you handle it?
Yep. Aaron's like, terribly. I was a douchebag to poor Jordan.
The hope is that he responds for the Falcons like Aaron Rodgers did for the Packers after they drafted Jordan Love. Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs. Now, we're going to get into this a little bit later, but if you don't know what this is about, I don't know where you've been, but with the 8th pick, right, in the draft, which coincidentally is Kirk Cousins' number.
And Rodgers' number?
Insult to injury there.
Some conspiracy there.
But yeah, they took Michael Penix Jr. before Kirk Cousins ever took a snap for them after paying $100 million guaranteed in a contract that, to be fair, they can get out of in 2 years.
Yeah.
But Michael Penix, 26 years old, he's kind of like, if you draft him, you play him now type thing. So Kirk Cousins, no doubt, wanted to maximize a championship window. And a backup quarterback does not do that.
Yeah, I think this is taking the whole let's get a backup quarterback the right way too far. Like, I understand getting a backup quarterback right, and that this is like
screw it. Let's talk about it right now. Let's just have a conversation.
Okay, sure.
What's just awful is that the argument they're hiding behind is the Packers did it.
Packers did it.
Packers took Jordan Love. It is not even close to being the same situation.
No.
Like, Kirk Cousins hasn't played for you yet.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers had won a championship before. He was older. You saw the logic at least. You didn't love it, but you saw the logic because the writing on the walls for Aaron Rodgers. You know, it was a little early, but Kirk Cousins hasn't played yet.
Yeah. Also, it wasn't. I think they picked him in the 20s, right?
25.
25.
Yep.
Penix was picked number 8. Like top 10 pick is like you better produce right now, or the locker room's gonna get mad. Like, why do we take this pick where we could have had any quarterback, any DB, a lot of stuff?
Yeah.
This guy who's not gonna play a snap. Best case scenario, he's not playing a snap that next year.
I mean,
Because Kirk Cousins is back. Yeah, it's
the
just
next 2 years. Like, best case scenario, you want Kirk Cousins to play for 2 more years.
Yeah.
So in 3 years, Michael Penix is going to start for you. By the way, we don't know if he's good yet. He's not that kind of prospect.
Right. Yeah.
He wasn't like, well, we couldn't let him go because, it's
Yeah.
Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah.
Like, no, you could have got a Michael Penix Jr. in 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, very easily.
Yeah.
He wasn't that level prospect. Another thing that's just it's a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
And you're in a championship window. Okay, when you pay a quarterback that kind of contract, $100 million guaranteed, you have to make every other dollar count. All right. And so having the value of having a top 10 pick here is that you're going to get a premium player at a premium position.
That's a good point.
For cheap money. Right. So Jared Verse was there. Latu was there.
Queen Mitchell was there. Arnold
There
was
hadn't
there.
been a defensive player taken yet. Right?
Yeah, they were all there.
Yeah, not to mention Roma Dunze was there. Like, if
Yep.
you're gonna make a stupid pick, then go get someone you can use.
That wouldn't even been
who's someone who'll at least be on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got someone who's literally not. You literally threw the pick away.
Yeah.
You threw the pick away, like literally.
Yeah, I think when you take a step back, you realize what happened and how fast it happened. You're just like, did they even know what they were doing when they made the pick? Like, do you realize the implications of this means for your starting quarterback who just paid a ton of money to, and now this guy who's like, you're not young, so when you start, you're gonna be 28. Then you have to start 2 years and then pay you. So that means we're gonna pay him at 31 years old his first contract.
Yeah.
It's just it's like it just smells of like you overthought the hell out of this.
Yeah.
And also, if you were to pick, I know Bo Nix, I picked at 12, now it's early too. But you could have, at that point, J.J. McCarthy's 21 or 20. You could have picked him and said, we'll do it as him because he's actually young.
Yeah.
So that way when he leaves, he'll be 23 when he starts. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
It's just like, it wasn't thought out.
The
well.
other aspect of this that is just so I don't understand, like the mismanagement of not telling Kirk Cousins until you're on about to make the pick.
Oh,
okay, great. So he found out about a minute before I did.
So that's just so they can say, well, we told him before. You told him while you were on the clock turning in the paperwork.
You knew months ago that you were into Michael Penix. You knew that. You knew you had the 8th pick. There was a very good chance Michael Penix was going to be there in the 8th pick. Like, there was a very good chance that if you wanted him, you were going to have him. You obviously wanted him. And so why not tell Kirk Cousins? Like, why not bring him on board? Why call him while you're in the draft room?
Because then he wouldn't have signed there. That's why you don't tell him.
Okay, he's been signed for months even.
That sucks. That's what happened.
And tell him a month ago.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to take a young guy. We've seen situations where you need a backup quarterback. We're going to bring this guy in. You're obviously the starter. And that's the whole conversation.
Yeah. The only way, the best case scenario, I don't even know what the best, because, if you want Penix to play, Kirk Cousins has to just not be healthy or just get hurt again or whatever happens that he never came back the right way, whatever.
That's the problem with this pick is that you can't win on both fronts.
Yeah.
If Kirk Cousins works out, that means the Michael Penix pick is a total waste.
Yeah.
If Michael Penix comes in and because God forbid something happens to Kirk Cousins, then the Kirk Cousins contract is a total waste.
Yeah.
Like you can't win on both fronts here. There's guarantees that you're gonna lose in some way.
Also, this is a pretty good offseason for acquiring defensive talent. There's a lot of players in that free agency where you could have used that money. You could have gotten a Christian Wilkins. You could have gotten a bona fide playmaker already instead of getting Kirk Cousins. And then either way, your 8th pick, you would still had a quarterback because the Giants and Titans weren't going to pick quarterback. Obviously, they passed on 3 quarterbacks. So it's just interesting and stupid and dumb and interesting because of the Falcons and good teams. Bad teams can't be good because they're so used to being bad. Like this is them getting in their own way.
I forgot we're still in the news.
Yeah, this is news.
Wait, do you remember talking about how excited we were to watch the Falcons this year?
Yeah.
Like a month ago.
Now it's I hope this.
It's not like the team has changed, though. It's
No,
still
no.
the same Falcons team we were pumped about.
But like Angel just said, bad teams continue to show why they're bad teams.
Yeah, it's just they don't
And
know
we
how to
thought
be-
they turned
I
the
just
corner.
don't hate this pick as much as you guys. I understand what you guys are saying, but I don't hate this pick at all.
There's
I
also this.
I really don't.
AJ, you remember when Jalen Hurts was drafted,
Yeah.
right? If you remember that situation, Carson Wentz was still young. Like
Playing
there,
well.
and there was a separation between the locker room and Carson Wentz, right? And they love Jalen Hurts, and that pressure came on pretty quickly.
Yeah.
What is going to happen when 38-year-old? I'm not going to hang out with any of my teammates because I'm 38 years old. Kirk Cousins, I'm also hurt coming off an injury, is like not playing well. And meanwhile, Michael Penix Jr., who probably hangs out with all his teammates, the whole locker room is going to love him.
Even if he wasn't 38 years old, he doesn't have the type of personality.
No, he's not that.
to hang out.
The
with
locker room is
Kyle
gonna love Michael Penix Jr. Not that they're not gonna like Kirk Cousins, but like I saw this situation play out before. Like the locker room, not that they hated Carson Wentz, but it definitely wasn't their boy.
Yeah,
And so it put something between them, and like the players were like, I like that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it might create like a natural like, well, yeah, pick a side here. Either you're on the Penix camp or in the Kirk Cousins. You can't do both.
That's
like,
a good problem, though. Like we're talking as
That's
if
a
that's
terrible
that's a
problem.
terrible thing. I don't think it's a terrible thing at all. I think that's a good. If he works out with the young guys. He does fantastic. No one cares about the Cousins. You know, no one cares about the money. No one cares about the draft pick. All we know is that we got a somewhat younger guy that's working out with our young squad and can go for the next decade or so. It's a big if, but if he does work out. No one cares about the money. No one cares about the Cousins. No one cares about when he was told. No one cares about and like they don't care about any of that at all because they got a quarterback. That's just my point on it. I understand it's a big if he has
but
to
I
work,
don't understand.
but
Like, what do you mean you had a quarterback? You signed a quarterback.
for like 2 years though. Penix could. I mean, I
What's
understand.
a 4-year contract? It's not like he's gone in 2 years.
I mean, but
Now you have to move on in 2 years.
But like I'm saying, like if he does move on in 2 years because this pick worked, no one cares about that.
I think no. I mean, maybe, but if I was a Falcons fan, I'd be like, no, what the hell? Like we could win a championship this year or next year.
Because that's
why not go get a player that can help me do that?
Yeah, that scenario for to work out. What Gabe's saying, something disastrous has to happen with Kirk Cousins. Either he never comes back the right way, or he gets, or whatever happens. That means
Which is very possible at age 35, coming off this kind of injury.
If that's your point, like, then why'd you even sign him?
Then why go for him?
If you could just,
That's what I'm saying. You can't win on both fronts.
Yeah,
Like
you
if that
can't-
happens,
yeah.
then the Kirk Cousins contract is terrible.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, you can get offered in 2 years. That's kind of a saving grace. But it's $100 million that you could have. I mean, think of the guys like you were saying who you could have signed this offseason with $100 million, especially if you knew you're going to go get Michael Penix anyway. Then just go draft Michael Penix and go sign people for him to play with.
Yeah.
Use that $100 million to go sign whoever you wanted to, and you like. I just don't understand the thinking here. I don't understand Fontenot. I don't understand his explanation of it. I feel like it gets dumber the more he tries to explain it.
Yeah.
This pisses me off because I was so excited about the freaking Falcons.
So that's the news.
Yeah, we're right in the middle of the news. We're going to take a quick break because we need to cool off. And we'll be right back with the rest of the news.
I didn't hear a word that you said. Maybe that was just an overreaction. Got a lot that's going on in my head. Yeah, you know I could use a distraction.
Okay, we're back with the news, which I forgot we were even talking about because
That was wild.
I mean, listen, it's been a week since the draft. We've been sitting on that for a
Yep.
minute, and it all kind of came out there. But let's move on here. A photograph of the suspect who shot Tank Dell has been released. See if we recognize this guy, Angel.
Oh my god.
That looks like
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
Pretty funny. Not funny news. Tank Dell was actually shot.
Luckily enough, he was released the same day,
Make a
Yep.
full recovery.
full recovery, and I don't think anyone.
Just a flesh wound.
Yeah, just a little.
In
just,
fact, no one was hurt.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy because like 10 people got shot. Like, so
what kind of bullets were these?
worst aim ever.
Was this even a gun?
8 people shot. No one hurt. Well, who was shooting?
Who was shooting? Like you're disappointed.
Like, bro, if you're gonna do it,
We are
do it.
so happy no one's hurt. Like 100%.
Yeah.
That's the expectations. 10 people involved. No one's hurt.
Yeah, that's just like,
Everyone released. Everyone went home.
bro, give me your gun, dude.
Shooting blanks.
Let's keep it moving. The Cowboys, they're all in.
They're all in.
All in.
They
All
bring
in.
back Zeke Elliott
oh yeah.
to join the running back room. Zeke is going to join Rico Dowdle. Is going to join
Royce Freeman.
and Deuce Vaughn, who's about that tall.
Yep.
What do you think of?
This is about to be the most boring backfield in my life. What? Look, Zeke was okay last year on a bad offense. He might be just the best case scenario. He is okay next year. He is okay.
Who's better, him or Royce Freeman at this stage in their careers?
I'll take whoever you
About
don't
the
want.
same guy.
Yeah.
About the same guy.
He's kind of just a big power back who's not really. Zeke can do more because he's good on third down because he could do pass pro. But besides that, this is what they're all in on. They're all in on 30-something-year-old Zeke.
We don't hate the Zeke signing. Like, that's whatever. It's a back nowadays.
Yeah.
If you don't have a guy, then you stack it with these kind of guys.
Yeah.
What we hate is you start the offseason by saying you're all in. And then the biggest signing you have is Eric Kendricks.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's kind of just a ghost town until you bring in Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
It just, I kind of think he's saying, listen, Dak, you're out of here anyway. We're going to do a little bit of a reset here.
That's what it sounds like.
We're going to rebuild the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
We're not giving you any more weapons. Like, that's not... Yeah. Because also, if they give him some weapons and he has an okay year, but they're going to let him go anyway, well, they're going to get a bunch of heat for letting him go.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're just going to give him CeeDee Lamb. That's what you got. And the tight ends are not bad either. We'll make a capable backfield.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because you're out of it anyway.
Just prepping for we're not gonna. Yeah, if you have a good year, then we're gonna be dumb if we don't sign you. I think he's gone anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe a little self sabotage. Like, hey, if you do bad, then we look good for letting you go.
Yeah. As of the draft, the 2022 Texans Browns Deshaun Watson trade is now complete. Adam Schefter tweeting this. So it ended up being this: the Browns received Deshaun Watson and the biggest guaranteed contract in league history.
Actually, it's all guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like every
All
dime
guaranteed.
of it.
And a 6th-round pick, which they included in the Jerry Jeudy trade. So not bad. In return, the Texans received Kenyon Green.
An okay lineman.
I think he's a plus guard, but yeah, a starter.
He's a starter. He's
I think he's a plus guard. You kind of think he's maybe a little lower than that. Damian Pierce, who actually I'd be way lower on than Kenyon Green.
It's a rotational rack. Yeah, he's such rotational.
Will Anderson.
Okay, that's
Defensive Player of the Year.
That one
stud,
sucks.
Building block type guy. Tank Dell.
That one sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Released the same day. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
That's not funny. They also received a 1st-round pick, which they traded back, selected Kamari Lassiter from Georgia, and then Jamal Hill, a linebacker there in the 6th round, and then Caden Bullock.
So
now, a lot of just pieces. I mean, we'll see about Lassiter and Hill and Bullock. But Dell, Anderson, and Pierce Green for Deshaun Watson.
yeah, that's tough. You get Will Anderson, a very good rookie of the year defensive end, and Tank Dell, a very good wideout. In return, you've gotten a guy who's been hurt most of his time with Cleveland, and when he's not hurt, he's not playing very well.
Let me ask you this: if Tank Dell isn't Tank Dell, then how you feel about this trade?
I'm okay. Will Anderson for Watson.
Yeah.
And you got C.J. Stroud and the end of it. So I think C.J. Stroud makes this whole thing just lopsided as hell.
Well, they didn't get C.J. Stroud.
No, but because you let go of Watson,
Yeah,
this
that's
is kind of an end result is
Yeah.
getting.
I love these kind of things.
Yeah.
I love
Oh, yeah.
looking back. I love seeing how it's kind of ended up. But God, the Browns need Deshaun Watson to work out this year.
Yeah, I think this is the last year. They didn't have a 1st or 2nd round pick this year. This is the last year of them paying for it.
Yeah.
So next year they'll probably pick a quarterback because Watson.
I'd say this is probably the toughest AFC North that Deshaun Watson will play in. Pittsburgh have taken a step up.
Yeah.
You got Burrow coming back.
Yeah. Pittsburgh and
Derrick
Baltimore
Henry now.
had fantastic drafts and offseason. And the Bengals are just getting Burrow back.
This is a rough year to have to win.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Luckily enough, their roster is very complete already. It's a
Yeah.
very good roster, but yeah, this is tough.
That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah,
AFC North, NFC North,
yeah, those
best divisions. I
Those
think.
two are the marquee. They'll be in a lot of primetime games. Is one of those teams.
Chiefs star Travis Kelce. This says contract extension. It's just a raise. Like, he already had these 2 years on his contract.
Yeah.
This is literally just a raise. He's going to get a lot more money.
Yes.
And I think this is just to say, hey, listen, I know Taylor Swift is beautiful and she's successful, and that's awesome. You guys are such haters.
Beautiful. She's a beautiful.
She's a beautiful woman.
Beautiful is a very strong word.
You guys are such haters.
No,
right now.
bro. No. Beautiful?
Is she attractive? Okay, sure. Beautiful
This
is.
is as stupid as that conversation in the office with a Hillary Swank.
Yeah.
But is she hot? And then they go on with
Not would you do her?
Yeah. God, of course, that's the line. You know, yeah. Either way, you're in a great relationship. Okay. Your brother just signed. Shout out to Jason Kelce.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Finally, make that watchable.
Please don't retire.
Travis.
Yeah, Travis.
Also, this also said to me, they are all in on a 3 in a row, first time ever for any NFL team like championship. This is what Jerry Jones means by all in. all in on these on the correct players, not on Zeke Elliott, on Travis Kelce.
They've really had a great offseason so far. Re-signed
yeah.
Chris Jones, massive contract.
Yep.
Travis Kelce.
Xavier
drafting
Worthy.
Xavier Worthy. They love that. Marquise Brown in town. Rachy Rice.
Rachy Rice.
A bump of the road.
Yeah.
Oh, couple bumps.
Couple bumps in the road. Shout out to Rachy Rice and his car.
I'm not going
His car was going 170. That's pretty good.
119.
119. That's pretty good.
Do we have that tweet? Sorry, I shouldn't say.
No, we don't.
Oh, okay. There's it's hilarious. Yeah, whatever. It's a hilarious tweet, kind of, because they have a ton of fast receivers now.
Yeah.
Worthy, Brown, whatever. And then they list all their top speeds.
It was Xavier Worthy 4.2, Hollywood
Yeah.
Brown 4.26.
And then they do Rachy Rice 119 miles. Jeez. Twitter's undefeated.
It really is.
Undefeated.
Anything something big happens, just go on Twitter real quick.
Potential Super Bowl champ Philadelphia Eagles and star wide receiver A.J. Brown, potential All-Pro, agreed to terms on a new 3-year contract extension, $96 million, the highest of any receiver in wide receiver history. He's now under contract through 2029. His total guaranteed is $84 million, and that's also the highest. The deal, his third at 27, was done by Tory Dandy, CAA. Shout out Tory.
And the Titans traded him for Treylon Burks.
Yikes. Talk about
a swing and a miss, dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes-
Go ahead and sign that guy.
Speaking of the NFL draft, when we're just on the back end of it, it's not as easy as it is to just draft the guy and just draft the AJ Brown.
They thought they were getting younger AJ Brown.
Yeah, like,
that was
he's
his
young.
comp.
His comp was AJ Brown. He's coming right out, and all of a sudden, you don't have him.
This is why you can go ahead and pump the brakes on just trade Ayuk. Just trade T. Higgins. It's hard to get that guy.
Yep.
Trading away AJ Brown and missing on Treylon Burks has literally cost them ever since.
Yeah.
They had a trade for DeAndre Hopkins. Now they had to overpay Calvin Ridley. Why? Because they don't have a number one receiver.
Yeah.
That can literally just set you back for years and years, and that's what it's done for the Titans. Tough for them, but great move for the Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles secures the bag. One of the best wideouts in the league. Now they have him and Devonta Smith locked up, and Jalen Hurts. That's just good GMing.
Yeah, I think odd man out might be.
Yeah.
Well,
Eventually he's gonna
yeah, he hasn't really been healthy, and he hasn't been as productive because of the lack of
easy angel.
availability.
He's no Greg Dulcich.
Look, Greg, please come back healthy, Greg. Never mind.
That's like where you go.
the amount of tight ends that the Broncos have drafted that just turn out to be total ass is just insurmountable.
No, stop. We're talking about AJ Brown right now.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's very true.
It's very true.
I wish they would have drafted Brown.
Shout out to Jake Butt, my last guy who just broke my heart.
At Jay Booty, right?
At Jay Booty, Michigan tight end.
That's elite.
That's his real Twitter
his
name?
actual
Yeah, Jay Booty, and then he had an endorsement with Charmin. He was like,
That's genius.
You had everything.
Dude.
If you were a star, you could have been on every whatever.
Also a very talented tight end. Just injuries, right? ACL.
We'll never know.
Okay, we're going to, this is a draft recap show. There's obviously a lot of things bouncing around our heads right now about the draft. It was incredible, full of some surprises once you got past 2, 3.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into it now. Let's go back and forth with some takeaways.
Sure.
You want to start?
I'll start. Okay. All right. I want to start with something that's probably not headliney, but fantasy wise, it's the biggest thing that screwed everyone over.
We love fantasy.
Okay. The LA Rams picked Blake Corum. After the season that Kyron Williams just had, this guy was a league winner. A lot of playoff teams had this guy because he was out of nowhere. He was the top 5, top 10 running back in PPR, whatever. They drafted this guy, Blake Corum, some thought he was the best running back. I don't think he was the first selected. The Panthers got the Tennessee guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice, AJ.
This just blew up fantasy-wise. That's what most guys think about this when they're watching the NFL draft. How does this affect my fantasy team, my dynasty team? First thing I thought of, whoever owns Kyron Williams, you're just fucked. They just draft. Yeah, Blake Corum's going to come in week 2 and just take over the whole thing. And it's not a headline, but this should be talked about in fantasy circles and in real life football too. Blake Corum's a good running back. He was productive at a national championship caliber or national championship winning team.
He was the star of that team on offense.
Yeah, they ran the ball.
He's been productive for several years now.
Absolutely.
There's been 4 years in a row that he's been dominating.
Okay, so been thinking about this a lot. I don't want us to overreact because Kyron Williams was really, really good last year.
Yeah.
I think Kyron Williams is a little small. He's been hurt back-to-back years, missed some time. So I think football-wise, you had to take someone. Are you in the draft? Day 2, running backs are just something the Rams like to do.
Yeah.
That's just what they're going to do, whether they need it or not. A day 2 running back is just in their plans at all times. Fantasy-wise, I think in redraft leagues, don't overreact. I think next year, Kyron Williams is going to give you a top 10 running back year still. But I think dynasty-wise, it's a major bummer for Kyron Williams owners.
Yeah.
Because Blake Corum eventually is going to be at least a share of the backfield.
Yeah, it means if Kyron Williams gets hurt for like 2 weeks, he might not ever get the job back.
Yeah.
That's why. I'm like, man, this might be a fantasy sleeper next year, Blake Corum. But that's just what I first thought of when he got picked. Like the worst landing spot for him was the Rams because of how they treat their running backs.
Well, and Sean McVay doesn't like to use shared backfields.
No,
To your point, Angel, if Kyron Williams gets hurt, that could be it. Blake Corum comes in, has 1-2 good games. He's not.
I don't know.
McVay's
He
not
loves
looking at
Kyron
that.
Williams.
I mean, he loved Todd Gurley.
He loved
Todd did it to himself.
He loved Cam
Cam
Akers.
Akers,
He loved
yeah.
all these guys who
Whoa.
rotate.
He did not love Cam Akers.
He hated.
No, he hated
I was
Cam
saying, no, he
Akers.
didn't. He hated Cam Akers.
Well, he
You son of a... You trying to sneak that one by?
that one playoff run, he loved Cam Akers.
He
That's
was
why
so good.
in that playoff
Yeah.
run. And after that, I don't know what happened after
it was
that.
weird. Yeah.
The Rams had a great draft.
Yeah, they did.
They landed Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk. Did you guys see what they tried to do? They almost accomplished this. So they drafted Jared Verse, right?
Yeah.
He went to school with Brandon Fisk. They're both kind of cool because they're both transfers, no stars out of high school, so they kind of went through this together. They tried to get Jared Verse in town fast enough to make the draft call to Brandon Fisk. That would have been awesome. Eventually, I think he did get on the phone, and there's a lot of those cool phone moments.
Yeah.
But the Rams had a great draft.
Yeah.
I mean, with those guys, and I mean, it's a bummer fantasy wise this happened. But Blake Corum, Cameron Kitchens, one of my favorite safeties. The Rams, man, the upcoming year. I'm telling you, the Niners are in trouble. I'm just gonna say it right now. Niners are in trouble because the Rams are coming. Healthy Stafford. I don't think the Cardinals are there yet. Who's the other? Who am I missing?
Seahawks.
I don't know the Seahawks.
Who knows? Yeah.
They're missing.
Yeah, I can't tell. But yeah, that's a good one. Blake Corum, fantasy wise, pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah.
I got one here. The Broncos better thank their lucky stars that Michael Penix went number 8, or else we'd all be talking about Bo Nix at 12, because that is a monster reach. A monster reach.
So here's what I've come.
Jeez,
a lot
he
of
looks like a Bronco.
a lot of people. Yeah, he's about to clean up. Him and Zach Wilson about to run the streets of all those.
I wasn't even talking
housewives,
about
dude.
that. Jeez.
No,
Great
but-
blazer.
So like, I've heard some comps for him, and they're not great. They're not great. I've gotten Gardner Minshew.
Yikes.
I've gotten Jimmy G.
Minshew.
Guys that kind of will just operate an offense at an efficient rate, won't wow you with anything, but are efficient.
And then be
his
gone
whole
the
thing,
next year.
yeah, his whole thing in college, he broke the NCAA record for 78% completion rate. Right, that's his whole thing. I don't think he's better. I don't think he's just a version of Brock Purdy. Best case scenario, he's just like, oh, you got Brock Purdy.
Angel,
Which is
question
like-
for you. Do you think he has the right coach that could take him above and beyond?
Yeah, but so does Brock Purdy. These guys have who are these quarterback whisperers. They have these good quarterbacks and just don't elevate. Kirk Cousins is probably the best out of that whole tier. He has no playoff success. It's just as a Bronco fan and taking it back and watching film and watching breakdowns and watching all that, you're just like, why did we draft this guy so high?
Yeah, and Terrell said that to his credit right away.
Yeah.
Like at 12, Bo Nix, trade back.
Yeah.
I won't say 100% going to be there. Raiders could have taken him, whatever. And that's probably would have been a better move in the long run for the Broncos if the Raiders take him. But at 12 is just, there hadn't been a defensive player yet. So all those guys were still available. Mm-hmm. You had a Brian Thomas Jr. available. You had a lot of options here.
Yeah.
And to go with Bo Nix is just like, I think it's just a reach, kind of a loser move in that, like, you just want, I just want a competent quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll win this with my coaching.
Yeah, this might be just like Sean Payton. Look, Sean Payton, for as much of a genius that Sean Payton is, play caller, whatever, he gets a little bit like, oh, I'm the smartest guy in the room. I'm gonna make this guy work. Look, if you make it work, good for you. I'm on board. I'm a Bronco fan. I hope he's good. But there's a reason why he was a 6th quarterback picked in this draft. There's a reason why he wasn't even mentioned with Drake May, with Jaden Daniels, not even Caleb Williams, obviously. Like, there's just a reason why all this stuff. I mean, maybe Broncos found the best guy, but it's just tough as a Broncos fan to be optimistic about this guy who was passed by all these teams. I know it's 12, but still.
It took him 5 years to have a decent season in college.
Sheesh.
Like, it took him 5. I remember him at Auburn. He was just not. He was a guy that you wouldn't even think would be drafted.
You know, he came out fine, and then he had to move to Oregon, and then Oregon last year blew up. But like, yeah, I'm with you. Like,
it's just a massive reach, and I think what pisses me off the most is in the post game or the post draft press conference, Sean Payton kind of like playing it off with the smirk on his face of like, yeah, this is what we've been. I'm pulling the strings of this.
Yeah, he said he like faked trying to move up.
That
like,
too.
Dude,
No, you
come
didn't.
on, man.
They moved one spot, bro. Like, if that's your plan, like, you need bigger goals going into the draft.
and why are you going at an NFC team like so aggressively? Why is
That's
the
what I'm
Vikings on your radar?
Like, you need a bigger goal in the draft than, hey, I'm gonna get the Vikings to trade up one pick in this draft.
What do you do? Like, who are you like Green Bay Packers? No, actually, we're the Denver Broncos in the AFC West. We have no affiliation with the Minnesota Vikings.
I think he's full of crap. I think he wanted J.J. McCarthy. I think he probably thought J.J. McCarthy's going to fall right to me, and I'm going to look like a genius. I'm not trading up. And I think he thought J.J. McCarthy was going to fall to him. The Vikings do make the aggressive move. They go get J.J. McCarthy. And I'm not saying J.J. McCarthy's any better than Bo Nix. I don't know. They're both questionable prospects to me. But playing it off like, yeah, Bo Nix is the guy.
Yeah.
They didn't even talk to him at the Senior Bowl. They literally didn't talk to each other.
Yeah.
There was no meeting. There was no, hey, let's come to the side of the field. Like, during practice, there's nothing.
Yeah.
You did not scout this guy like it was someone you were going to take in the first round of the draft as your future in debt. Like, no, bull. Like, I do not believe it.
Yeah, it's commission year. I mean, and the quarterback room is just it's his. It's not gonna be Zach Wilson. Not gonna be anyone else. It's gonna be him from the start.
I tell you what, if it's not, you better be terrified.
Yeah, it's
If you're going through camp and there's rumors of like, oh no, this might be we'll see who's gonna win it. Like, are you serious?
people. I already know what people are gonna say. Well, he led the NCAA and this and that. Yeah, but like part of the reason why they didn't love his tape because he did a lot of bubble screens, a lot of stuff behind the line of scrimmage where it was kind of yak kind of guy, which is what we killed Brock Purdy for the same thing, for throwing just screens and short stuff and letting the guys make it. And that's why I compare him to Brock Purdy because all he does kind of just gets kind of plays point guard, but like a poor man's point guard, not like a elite point guard.
This might be crazy. I think I'd be more excited with Zach Wilson and a fresh start with Sean Payton than I am with Bo Nix going into a shot. Like, I think I might be more. Zach Wilson has more tools to work with.
Would you feel different if they drafted him like the second round? Would you feel different?
Yes.
Yeah.
They spent the 12th pick on him.
So the point of this is
because
like,
the expectations would be lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like second round pick, you just end up like if you're Drew Lock and you mess up, okay, we'll just move on. Like
they dodged the bullet though because the fact that Penix got picked, no one was talking about this.
Yeah.
This would have been the story of like who reached. It would have been the Broncos.
Yeah.
But Penix went number 8, and that's just an all time, bluff. But anyways, what else you got?
To a positive note.
What else you got?
Yeah. To a positive note, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I freaking love their draft. Furtado is their left tackle. Zach Frazier.
They got him at 20 or something?
Zach Frazier is a center. They've built
do you guys know who Zach Frazier is? He is an
Fill me in.
animal.
center.
He's a center. He's a wrestler. Like, he is just a molar.
Roman Wilson, 3rd round, productive Michigan wideout.
Yeah.
4th round, Peyton Wilson falls to you. The top line, the top minus, if it wasn't for injury stuff, A&M guy.
Edge Cooper?
Yeah.
I got Edge Cooper to one of my.
Peyton Wilson still, top 2, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
A steal in the 4th round. Pittsburgh just killed this draft. Also tells you, look, I don't care who's at quarterback, we're going to have a freaking good line, and we're going to run the ball a million times. Left tackle, center, drafted this year, day 1 starters, go ahead. Phenomenal draft. I love what they did. And it also tells their team, we're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
We might have some drama with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, but we're finally going to have a good line. Back to the old days where we had a good line. We're going to establish one early and then play action with whoever's at quarterback. One of the like, no one talks about how good their draft was. A+ on their whole draft. Phenomenal.
What I love with the Steelers is that they're back to drafting guys who fit the Steelers' identity. Mm-hmm. They're back to drafting physical, character guys. Yep. Like they're back to drafting those kind of guys.
Yep. Furtado is the peak of that
Yeah.
of that spear.
If they hadn't hired Arthur Smith, I think people would be a lot higher on the Steelers right
Yeah,
now.
if they
I
hired
think-
like even like a regular coordinator
And I think we're kind of Arthur Smith led great offenses in Tennessee.
as the coordinator.
Great rushing offenses as a coordinator. So he's probably going to do great as a coordinator here because they are so set up to be a top 5 team in rushing this year.
Yeah.
Like, especially if they get Justin Fields in there early. And they got Justin Fields, Najee Harris, and that offensive line.
Yeah.
And Jalen Warren. Like, that's, like, they're going to, Arthur Smith knows what to do with that. Now, you might get frustrated about, like, what he's going to do in the passing game, and that's a whole other story. But, I love the Steelers draft. I loved their draft last year. I think they just complemented it this year with another good class. Very pumped about that. Let's move on here. But I want to mention real quick, Broncos. We're pretty low on them. Troy Franklin is a fantastic prospect.
Yeah, Troy Franklin, wideout, Oregon.
Yeah.
1,400 yards last year. Great year. So
What's cool about Troy Franklin is that he kind of gets looped into he runs 9 routes. He's really fast.
yeah,
Troy Franklin did everything for the Ducks.
Yeah.
He caught the ball behind the line of scrimmage. He's kind of like how Tank Dell probably got kind of looped in the same thing. Like, oh, yeah, he's a smaller guy, but he could fly.
yeah.
No, he's not one of those guys. Like, Troy Franklin, you're going to be able to leave on the field for 3 downs. I was actually pretty pumped about that pick. Pretty good pick. I think the Bills may have been a little too trade-backy here, especially when you trade back and your rival takes a receiver and you needed a receiver. I'm not a big Xavier Worthy guy.
But they got, now
They got
it's,
Keon Coleman. We'll see. He struggles with separation. Those guys are like the scariest to me in the NFL.
you can't separate.
What's his name?
Calvin Benjamin. That's all I think of.
No,
one guy.
the Eagles just got him. He was on the Patriots last year.
Devontae Parker.
Devontae Parker.
Yeah.
Same thing. Physical specimen, can't separate.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Keon Coleman. So we'll see about that. Just trading back to your rival. The last time they traded back with the Chiefs, of course, is when they drafted Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So it's like there's that bad taste in your mouth. I didn't love this trade. I get it. You have to get cheap, and you've really sold out to that this offseason. But with the Chiefs at the position that you need the most, probably, I didn't love it. What did you think? You okay with it?
No, I think at some point you got to choose somebody. Like you trade back, which is great.
Right.
But at that point, you were in the same tier of wideouts. The Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman, Leggett wasn't picked yet. That same tier 3 quarterback of wideouts.
Yeah.
And you just gave the Chiefs, okay, you guys can have the best one.
Yeah.
Give us 3 picks and give us a fifth round pick, whatever. Not the greatest return, and you gave it to the Chiefs. The one team you didn't want Stephon Diggs going to was the Chiefs, and you just gave him a young wideout. I know he's not Stephon Diggs, but still, you gave him the best opportunity to be. Like you gave the Chiefs like pick whoever you want. We'll take whoever you don't want.
What do you think of Xavier Worthy?
Little worried
Yeah.
because the whole speed guys
Yep. Exactly what I thought.
don't really work.
When's the last time it worked out where someone got into the combine who's kind of a mid prospect? He runs the fastest 40. He gets drafted in the first round, and that worked out.
Tavon Austin, John Ross, Henry Ruggs, a
It
bunch
usually
of guys.
doesn't work. The production wasn't there.
Yeah.
Adonai Mitchell, I think, was the better prospect as far
Yeah.
as a receiver. It's interesting. I guess the only reason I want to believe in it is because Andy Reid did it,
Yeah,
and so.
but Andy Reid also drafted Sky Moore and traded for Kadarius Toney.
He will not give on Kadarius Toney.
No, he's gonna make that thing
That's
work.
his boy. The most talented receiver of the Chiefs. That's what Andy Reid said.
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
I'm sure in like a race and like a physical and like a
shorts?
in like a triathlon or something. He's probably the best at it.
I got one more. You got any more?
Yeah. I got a couple more.
Okay, I got one more. I'll do mine, and you can finish yours. A little positive note here, and I know it's the Eagles, but listen, I loved the Eagles and the Lions addressing positions
I was
of
gonna
need.
do that, but okay, just paired together.
Positions of need, doubling. I mean, the Lions got Ennis Rakestraw in the third. Like
Second.
In the second, he was getting mocked in like top 25 mock drafts.
You mocked him first
and
round.
Ennis Rakestraw. And then of course in the first they get Terry and Arnold, which a lot of people had as the first cornerback in the draft. So to get those two guys at a position of need after you sign Carlton Davis, A+.
Yeah.
Good.
No, just like that's just what we've been saying since the draft show. Teams that are bad at things, you have to attack it immediately. The Lions said we're bad in the secondary. Screw these contracts. We're gonna start over, draft 2 high priced rookies, and then sign 2 guys, and then trade for Carlton Davis. I loved it. This is what good teams do. This is why I have them so ranked high in my power rankings because they're attacking stuff that because Their offense is fine. Their offense is perfectly fine. They have everything that you could possibly want. Defense was the only part where I was like, they're not very good yet. This is attacking where you're weak. I just love it.
I can't think of the Lions GM right now. Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is awesome to watch right now because you could tell whether or not it's true. He thinks he's cooking.
Every pick is like this. This is it.
Like do you see the shirt he wore?
No.
Okay, so people get on him for positional value, right?
Yeah.
So last year he drafted the linebacker and the running back in the top 15, and people were like, positional value, you don't take those guys at that level, which we were half right because the linebacker didn't play.
Yeah.
Okay, Gibbs was awesome, but the linebacker didn't play. So he wore a shirt that said positional villain. So kind of like trolling everyone from last year.
Yeah.
This guy, there's no, he is convinced like I am killing the league right now.
Well, I'm sure you have to have a level of cockiness of,
He sure does.
pride. But also Eagles. Hello, gifted the best corner in the draft.
Cooper
at 23.
DeJean and I love Quinn Mitchell. Even more, those guys are incredible fits to a Fangio defense.
Yeah.
Like just really, really good zone cornerbacks.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to label them. Zone defensive backs. I love that. I didn't love what they did in the rest of the draft, except for trading back.
Yeah.
Like they obviously did not believe in the later rounds of this draft because they just started trading back and accumulating picks for next year. It came out with another 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I think. But yeah, love those. Love addressing that need. I thought Eagles and Lions both killed it, position of need. And the thing about that is they did that without reaching. A lot of times people want to address a need, and so they reach for someone who shouldn't be drafted at that. Like maybe we think what the Chiefs did. But they drafted for need and still got great value. That's like the sweet spot.
Okay. This is the last negative take I have on a team. And then there's more positive I do not love the Tennessee Titans draft at all.
Really?
J.C. Latham is a right tackle. He picked at number 7 overall. He's not. You needed a left tackle. I get it. You can maybe you sign a veteran to play left tackle, whatever. Latham is only a right tackle. Why are you taking a right tackle so high at number 8? T'Vondre Sweat, a 2-down in nose tackle in the 2nd round. I don't love these players because they're not versatile. They're just Latham, right tackle only. Sweat, 1st, 2nd down only. 3rd down, he's off the field. Maybe, you're saying to yourself, oh, like a Sweat might look good next to obviously Simmons and that defense, whatever. And Latham, maybe he's athletic enough to switch over to left tackle. You don't know that. You had guys who were there at number 7 who were already fitted to be a freaking left tackle.
Yeah.
I don't get the high price pick for a right tackle and a nose tackle.
I don't mind. I think Latham's a great pick. I think right tackle, left tackle nowadays, I don't know if there's a huge difference anymore. Like, I feel like they're kind of both valued the same. I think Lane Johnson on the Eagles, like, do I think he's any less valuable than Jordan Mailata? No. So I'm okay with the right tackle thing if that's where he ends up staying, especially with the kind of prospect he is. He's a mountain of a man. He's very athletic. I don't like the T'Vondre Sweat pick because in the 2nd round, like you said, a 2-down defensive tackle who also had the DUI thing.
Yeah.
This offseason. So that's also someone who has question marks, who's probably a little bit of a reach, a limited as far as like how many downs he's going to play for you. Don't love that pick, but I mean, I didn't think it was terrible. I think they had a very clear plan to build from the trenches out. That's the guy who was highest on their board. I liked his teammate better. I can't think of it right now. The other Texas, the other Texas defensive tackle. I can't remember. The pass rusher version of him, basically. I love Chris Jenkins out of Michigan. I love those guys. Maybe
Murphy.
Murphy, Byron Murphy.
Byron Murphy.
Yeah, how did we do 3 mock drafts and I don't remember that guy?
Byron Murphy. Well,
like-
I'm
like,
don't put me into it with you.
I'm like over too much information.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't love that pick, but I don't mind the J.C. Latham one.
Yeah. Either way, for some teams that had a lot of things going for them, I didn't love it.
Yeah.
Positive note, Indianapolis Colts.
Oh.
Latu. Start him strong side, defensive end, done.
I feel like that was one of our favorite guys pre-draft.
Adonai Mitchell, 2nd round.
Same.
You could put him anywhere. Him, Pittman, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce. You have that around your franchise quarterback who you think, Anthony Richardson. You give him all the tools that he needs. You can now go a complete spread offense, 4 wideouts, 3 whatever. Rotate them all. Fantastic draft. Yeah, I think they got to get him at 15. Latu, the most polished, productive pass rusher.
He's gonna be good
at that
right
time.
away.
He's the most confident defensive player besides Taron Arnold. That like for me, that's like he's a day one starter. Just go ahead and just start him. He's a start right away and be productive.
I'd put my money on him to be defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah,
right now, if I had to make that bet,
Yeah.
that's the guy I'm choosing.
And then Mitchell, obviously, that's a down the field wide out.
I didn't love the Mitchell pick.
Well, Pittman's not really that guy. He's not that down the middle guy. Josh Downs kind of a not gadgety.
Right, but Alec Pierce is that guy. Alec Pierce does have that kind of speed.
Yeah.
Alex Pierce, that's him. That's literally, they got the different version of Alec Pierce on the, and it's a fourth receiver. Like to me, it just said like you don't think much of Alec Pierce.
Yeah,
If
I don't
like
think
you
they
went
do.
Adnan Mitchell in the second round.
If you
like,
watched last year, once Richardson went down, they did not play Alec Pierce at all.
yeah, I just think. I mean, where they took him in the early in the second, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you could have gotten something that you needed more than a fourth receiver there, or even a third receiver. If that's what you think, like he's already above Alec Pierce. Josh Downs and Pittman, like how many times is Anthony Richardson going to throw the ball?
No, I just think
And is he going to throw it enough to make that pick worth it?
I just think it sets him up for success. I think the more weapons you put around a quarterback, the easier it is for him.
Yeah.
And I think this is just you're building around that you're all in on Anthony Richardson. So what do you do now? You already have your line's good. Get weapons for him now. Keep not enough weapons. Like keep on adding to that wideout room. I liked it a lot. And then Latu, obviously defensive end. You might be right. He might be the defensive rookie of the year next year because he's gonna start right away on a defense that's still underrated, and he might get plus 10 sacks easily.
Yeah, so Chris Braswell, I would take him. Nealon, Mike Hall, defensive tackle at Ohio State, I'd take him. Ben Sinot, whatever the tight end, I'd take him. I think he's gonna be pretty good. Ennis Rakestraw is still there. I think you could have got better value there, but I mean, obviously he's gonna. They got a plan for him. Probably means Alec Pierce is all men out.
Yeah.
Which someone go get Alec Pierce because I think I love Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
That's probably part of this for me. But yeah, I think it was really good. Other team I want to shout out here is the Green Bay Packers. I think they had a very Green Bay Packers type draft where they got a defensive back early, right? And they got just starters in the mids.
Well, Jordan Morgan, he'll start at some tackle somewhere.
Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah.
Jordan Morgan, I don't know where he's gonna start, but he'll start somewhere. Obviously, Edrin Cooper, top linebacker. They just lost Campbell. Yeah, pretty good. Marshawn Lloyd, obviously, he was comped to AJ Dillon. So now it's kind of like
So Jordan Morgan, he's going to be a starting tackle for him. That you said?
Yeah.
Pretty much off the bat. Edge Cooper to me is just one of those guys in a couple years that you're going to say like, oh, okay. So you got the dudes in San Francisco, you got the dudes in Baltimore, and you have the guys in Green Bay now. Like him and Quay Walker, is that the guy?
Yeah.
Quay Walker, like that's going to be one of those duos. Bullard is going to be a starter right away.
You think so?
He's going to be a starter right away. Like he is such a great compliment to McKinley. And Bullard's going to struggle in more man-to-man stuff, but he's a fantastic center field player. He's a great tackler. I think that was a great pick. And then Marshawn Lloyd, Dan Jeremiah says he's the best back in the draft. Maybe a little shorter, but built like a freaking bowling ball.
Yeah.
Fast. I mean, I think AJ Dillon, writing's on the wall for him. I think that's a rough thing for AJ Dillon because I think he takes his job right away. I really, really like what they did. Also, getting Kalen King late. A year ago, Kalen King was getting mocked in the first round.
Yeah.
Like he was that kind of prospect. So literally, if he just had an off year and he's more of 2022 Kalen King instead of 2023, you just got a starting cornerback in the 7th round.
Yeah.
I thought they killed it.
He's also one of those guys who says, "I want to remember everyone that came before me."
Yeah.
Add him to the list. Honorable mention.
Yeah.
This is me being a football fan and not letting my Bronco fandom. The Raiders. They got my boy Jackson Powers Johnson. He'll play guard for them because Andre James is
loved.
That was his boy.
I don't know why.
I was
love
your
this guy.
dog.
Have you asked him to be on the show yet?
I did.
He
Sure, we
just
DM'd him.
fell to the wrong team.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be positive. The Raiders have a pretty good offensive line. Now Andre James center, Powers Johnson left guard, and then
kind of a cool move too by Antonio Pierce. He texted Andre James right away and said, "Hey, you're our center still."
Yeah.
So Jackson Powers probably play a guard position. That's awesome, man.
yeah, they drafted
Take
him.
notes, Atlanta.
Yeah, seriously.
Why don't you do the smart thing? Raiders actually didn't trade up, and at this point, you're like, maybe they lucked out not getting. I mean, I don't know yet. Maybe they lucked out not getting Bo Nix or one of these guys. You're like, we're not gonna reach for anybody. We're gonna take the best player available, which they did. Brock Bowers. I don't care if Michael Mayer is there. Brock Bowers is better.
Yeah.
That's where I've kind of landed on it.
Yeah.
He wasn't good last year. Whatever. Brock Bowers is just a better prospect. Get the best available. You're a bad team. Just get the best available, and that's what they did.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a great prospect. I would like them. I would like to see them take someone else. But yeah, he'll be.
It's just disappointing. Like,
yeah,
he didn't get to go anywhere else where we'd be excited about.
And the whole when has this spending elite assets on your second tight end ever worked out?
Yep.
That's never worked. Like you can never sustain. I feel like everyone's always been chasing the what is it, the Patriots guys. Hernandez and like everyone's always chased. Like it's never worked anywhere else.
That definitely didn't work.
So don't love that. But yeah, I think he's an upgrade. So if you want to look at it like that, like
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, he's just an upgrade on Mayer.
Like Michael Mayer wasn't. Like I know Antonio Pierce was there. That wasn't Antonio Pierce's guy.
Yeah.
Michael Mayer is Pierce's guy, and I love Michael Mayer. So I'll wait until I see him on the field, see what it looks like. We'll just see what he's a young weapon who.
You don't know what he is yet.
You mean Brock Bowers?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
talking about Michael Mayer.
I'm talking about.
You're talking about
Brock Bowers. Yeah, but look, best available on the board was Brock Bowers at that point, and then Powers Johnson is nice too.
You got anything else?
No, just I'm not a fan of Roger Goodell doing the 2-button thing. That bothered me the whole night. Roger, you're not
Anything
that
football related?
No, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Hey, to each his own. I have one more thing. I don't know if Gunter did this on purpose.
Here we go.
But if he did the ultimate troll job to Caleb Williams and the Bears. In I think his final game, Caleb Williams lost, right? He was crying on the sideline, all that. The quarterback did that to him was Tulane quarterback Michael Penix, who the Packers selected in the 7th round. So they got that guy. Just so Caleb Williams has to look across the field and see that guy standing there looking at him and be reminded of maybe his worst college moment.
Yeah, that's
an elite trolling job by Gunter.
A lot of trolls. A lot of these coaches are just trolls, dude. A lot of these GMs are just kind of like grown-ass men being trolls.
That's our show for today. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Episode 120. Those are our draft thoughts. We will see you Friday with a new show. Don't know what to be about yet.
Power rankings.
Sure, let's do Power Rankings.
Power rankings.
Oh, yeah, we'll be Power Rankings. Angels Heavenly Top 10, post-draft.
Post-draft.
My bad, guys. We'll see you Friday.
Peace.
Bye.